It's time to get stuck into it. The last day of the group stage here in Berlin's about to kick off. And it is the last chance for many of these teams to make a campaign run in the playoffs. Elevate have already confirmed their spot. In fact, they have amazed everybody.
Absolutely. Elevate, they've gone flawless. They're set, they're happy in the playoffs. But for MNM, it's a very different story.
Yeah, MNM... A lot of people looking at them this event were thinking this is not the EU team to necessarily place your hopes on for playoffs, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they know that they can do better than this, and there is still a chance that they can make the playoffs here, but the stars have to align.
Yeah, I was going to say that you stole words right on out. The stars absolutely have to align. So for MNM to make the playoffs, they have to not only beat Elevate, then they have to be Elevate's best friends, their biggest fans. For Elevate to keep Furia down in the standings, Elevate has to beat Furia after that. Then MNM have to win their final match as well. It's going to be a tough run for the last day if they want to make it.
And it's going to be hard straight out of the gates because Elevate has proven to be such a strong team. And we're going to Oregon, where Elevate have already played during the Berlin Major. They took down Astralis, a 7-4, I believe. MNM, on the other hand, they tried Oregon against Astralis and couldn't quite hack it. They lost 8-6. Elevate are poised to take it, and for them, it's about getting their best foot forward going into the playoffs, assuring themselves first seed so they won't have to play against teams like W7M or FaZe who are looking so strong. But for MNM, it's cutthroat. It's do or die, and it's right now. So let's get started. Let's get into Oregon. Kick off the first match of day 3 here in the group stage of the Berlin Major.
Community vote as well. All of you at home, 70% of you, in fact, favouring Elevate to take this one out, but the pressure is on for MNM. This is the final stand, the last straw for them to try and make their chance into the playoffs.
Elevate have certainly won the hearts of the community, it seems, but MNM have done so in the past as well. Everyone remembers back at Six Invitational, they were one of the only teams able to beat the runners-up of the entire event, Empire, during the group stage. They had a bit of a curse, though. They weren't really capable of winning their morning games. Now, Mandy, I look at the clock. It is 10:30 a.m.
Right, and early.
Which is, look, by gamer hours, that's quite early in the morning.
Well, I had a chat to some of the MNM players when we first arrived here in Berlin, and they were saying, look, Mandy, we've been waking up early every single day. Nello said to me, our boot camp has been us waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, making sure everyone is awake. When they tweeted they were on their way to Berlin, they said 8 o'clock in the morning, and the entire team was like, wow, magical. These guys are awake now. They have trained their minds into this 10 a.m. game.
A literal boot camp, perhaps. I don't know if they were being told to run laps and do push-ups, but it certainly sounds like it. They have been drilled into it. MNM is here to play, but it's going to be difficult. And have a look at this map, Veto. A strange ban from MNM, I believe that was. Yeah, MNM banning out the Thermite and the Aruni as well. So not a couple of bans you see every day. I got to admit, though, if I was going in the server against Mr. Super Onigiri, the DMR specialist himself, I'd probably ban the Aruni as well.
I would have to agree with you on that. Thermite Scout is an interesting one for me. I'd have to look back at the previous matchup, which I'm just going to do really quickly. But Thatcher and Kaid to guard, now that's pretty standard here in Oregon. Some of these hatches can be quite pesky to open up, especially the ones for the basement. A lot of those hatches are mission critical, depending on the type of push that you are going for. And that's exactly where MNM is going to take us to start off the series.
They've got the Mirror, the Smoke, and the Goyo on their side. These phenomenal anchor operators to lock down the site in the late round. One big X factor for Elevate, though, is this Twitch from DCH. Now, he loves playing the Twitch, and the Twitch is the perfect counter for both the Mirror and the Goyo. You can pop open those Mirror windows, you can detonate the Vulcan canisters. Onigiri's got a drone in sight right now. What is this, man? You very rarely see in competitive play people in prep phase actually droning into sight, but that's a decent amount of information for Elevate and exactly what the operator lineup is. And on the back of it, we're even going to see a repick on the attacking side. Mark goes off the Hibana, sacrificing the entire team's hard breach in favor of this Dockerby.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, something that I want to quickly touch on before we get into this matchup is Sapper. Sapper has been such a big showing in this major so far, and he's been put newly on this entry role. Now, here in Apex South, we knew him as the hard breach or the support of this roster, but recently he's gone through a role change, and wow, he's just been so good on this role for this team.
He certainly has. The top-rated player in Apex South by a significant margin. on entry and smoke. An uncommon combination. Sapper has made a name for himself. But this event, it really has been Mark and Mr. Punch who have stolen the limelight. They're the newbies, right? They've only been on this roster for about 6 months. They weren't at the 6 Invitational with the rest of the Elevate squad. Sapper's found his way inside of meeting. There was a heavy roam setup from MNM, as you can see, with the hatch open in meeting, which is why Mark switch picked off the Hibana. But there's actually still a roamer in Kitchen Nello. Is Sapper going to get caught off guard here? They may well be about to see each other, just edging around the corner.
Elevate, they still have a few more things to drone out here. I just see an outline of a drone slither its way inside. That's DCH's drone. Now they've seen where Nello is on Agiri. He'll start to press the attack, moving his way through Zulu. A grenade to follow through, and a roamer in the top floor. Hang on a second, something's gone undetected.
My question here for Elevate is, are they aware that there is a potential for roamers? Because it just didn't feel like Elevate hard cleared the positions of, well, it's Tyrant and... Okay, well, Sapper's just going to drop down into sight. That's certainly a play and a half. Nello from Kitchen does find one, but Sapper is in sight. Immediately traded back. Nello, well, sorry, then Neo has done some good work holding the pillar position. Nade comes his way. He survives it still, though. Elevate very disjointed here, and MNM with the numbers advantage.
Elevate are being punished for not clearing out that roam. The kit is currently still sitting on the ground floor inside of Kitchen. Mr. Punch trying to make his way into sight, but it's all for nothing. Mark now left in the 1 versus 3.
Quite a strange round from Elevate, opting not to hard clear the roamers, trying to get away with something a bit cheeky on site, but MNM say, look, we need this win a lot more than you do.
What a way to start out as well. Elevate, it looked like they were not giving MNM the respect that they deserved on that roam. They went in straight for the ground floor. Sapper made a really great entry to hold on to that map control, but got really overzealous going into the site. In the end, the kit ended up being dropped inside of Kitchen. Elevate, it just didn't look like they were on the same page. Some of them wanted to deal with the roam, some of them wanted to hit the site. And that disconnect in the attack gave the opportunity for MNM to take away the round.
I thought maybe the strategy for Elevate was to try and hard push site while using the Dockerby to dissuade the roamers from flanking and maybe doing a bit of soft flank watch, but yeah, like I said.
You don't send the kit.
No, yeah, that's a great point. If Onigiri dies with the diffuser, it's pretty much over. Now this round, MNM will flex up onto Dorm's bomb site. This has been a good start for them. But Elevate know that sometimes they might take a bit to warm up. And once they get going, it's hard to stop them.
And MNM looking to do an extended hold over into Attic. We can see a rotate being made by Tyrant. The Azami to follow through as well. Now we've seen the keeper barriers be used to quite a strong extent throughout this entire major. I don't think I've seen a T3 hold yet though. This could be exciting from Tyrant.
We've seen this to be devastating. I can't remember, what game was it the other day that we kept seeing? Was it Astralis kept doing this? No,
P4.
P4, that's right.
The man in the big tower.
The Wolves had a fantastic big tower hold and it kept catching out their opponents.
Well, Mark, he may run into this defense relatively quickly on the Hibana. Might be trying to get some control into Attic with that hard breach. Tyrant will hold on with one of his teammates over in T2, as well as the rest of Elevate work their way into Master.
Having a look at MNM's history on this map when they played Astralis, they did struggle a little bit defending this kid's dorms. Astralis did eventually win out that game, but here, Elevate looking to assert their presence. Sapper usually on the entry roll, this time entering on the Monty. Not quite the same thing. What's going on there, Mr. Punch? He gets a right hook right to the side of the head, and Elevate do immediately reply, however.
Elevate, they're trying some pretty sneaky business here, working their way into Trophy. It's pretty cheeky from them. A keeper barrier is actually going to patch up the hole inside of Attic. That means that this position is now safe. He only needs to contest the breach rather than contesting into Trophy. Tyrant is even going to reinforce it off the back of that. An aggressive push onto the double window. Do the shots connect? No, Mark is too sharp.
Yeah, it's a big pick there for Elevate to get the numbers on their side. But hello, Solotov. He's managed to flank up into Armory and uses sprays down on Agiri. A big pick. This is where it turns for MNM.
Uses in a bit of a tussle at the moment with Sapper. Trying to play the melee game, but Solotov coming in for the flank inside of Armory, and it's all over for Elevate.
Yeah, well played there by the end of it for MNM. They remained composed in the face of a terrifying Montaigne and a very early, hard, fast push from Elevate, just going directly to the side, looking to brute force the issue. And it didn't work out. That's 2 rounds in a row, Mandy, that MNM have been looking pretty good.
Got to say, it's about time that Elevate start giving some respect to these guys. All these silly plays they're trying to go for, going all the way into meeting early, but then not clearing out the roamers and having half of them deal with it now, walking in with the Monty and hoping something good comes out of it. Nah, this ain't it against MNM. These guys want this win. This is the last straw for the playoffs, and they're not going to give Elevate anything.
They're certainly not. And MNM need every single point they can get. They need everything to go their way. They're currently at the very bottom of their group. It's been a rough ride for MNM. A lot of highs, a lot of lows. I know there's been a bit of disappointment in the roster, in themselves, when they started so slow this tournament. But on day 3 here, they know that there is still a chance. They have to believe it.
MNM, though, they're taking us down to their tertiary bomb site. For Elevate, this is their best chance at winning an attack round. This is not the primary bomb site. This is one that MNM have to go to if they want to complete the world tour. They seem to be holding onto meeting and kitchen quite steadfastly, holding onto stage as well as Tower Tyrant ready for the early entry.
When MNM played Astralis on this map, they managed to actually do a clean sweep. Laundry, kids, dorms, and meeting. 3 defense rounds in a row. Unfortunately for them, Astralis was able to also win 3 attack rounds in that half, which really put the pressure back onto MNM. Speaking of pressure, Tyrant forced back by the Flores Rotero drone from DCH. He's going from the Twitch to the Flores. He loves his drones.
Now, a big difference, though, with the MNM and Elevate game, once MNM got to their defense, it was all Elevate. They couldn't defend. They really couldn't defend Theme Park at all. That was the famous game with Sapper on the Monty, toying around inside. It was just, they struggled so much. Now they're on their defense, and they're looking much, much stronger in Oregon.
You said Oregon.
I know.
Sorry,
I immediately kicked myself for it as well.
I saw that expression on your face. MNM, though, here on Oregon, this is their best chance to make it through. Look at that. The missed drone. Tyrant, though, reveals his position with a quick pre-fire. Elevate, like you said, need to start giving some respect to MNM. MNM know how to play this, and they've already extended a 2-round lead as Onigiri is on the forefront of this push upstairs. Neo is ready to receive.
Ooh, Neo taking a big chunk of health from Onigiri as well. Elevate looking to do a big tower-centric push with 2 players cutting off inside of Garage. They know players are going to be retaking through lobby, and Sapper will be the first point of contact. They're right next to each other, Tyrant and Sapper.
Oh my god.
They seem to know the presence that they are there, but the execute hasn't quite followed through yet for Elevate.
There is a hard breach, though, on that wall into meeting from Tower. This is the main point of influx for Elevate to execute onto the site, and there's still time to make it work as well. 56 seconds to be precise. Onigiri's starting to try and pressure this sandbags position, which is so influential. Finally, Tyrant does make his play in Garage and takes down Sapper. What a huge pick for MNM.
Oh no, and that really opens up a retake possibility for MNM. Immediately, Neo is there to follow up Mr. Punch. He's coming around the corner. Can he go for the refrag? No, he cannot. Neo in Attic.
And with that, MNM, 4 versus 2, they shut out Elevate from the side. It's up to Mark and DCH now, but Neo has found an advanced position. Is Mark going to check the corner? 1 bullet will be enough, and it's straight between the eyes. 2v3. And a possibility for Elevate, looking very good now. DCH getting a nice shot, but it is not over yet. Tyrant and Usus, the try and clutch up. Tyrant in the play position. Swinging from split, sprays on through. DCH makes it a 1v1, but there's no time to plant. Tyrant can clutch it on time, and MNM win 3 rounds in a row.
What a beautiful play from Tyrant. That entire round, he knew that they needed to hold onto that lobby control once the retake had to come through. They had such a great read on that big tower push, so you knew, right, they're going to look for the plant. That means we need to look for the retake. How are we going to look for the retake? They're going to be cutting us off. So Tyrant is already 1 step ahead. To take down Sapper really allowed the rest of MNM to flood on through and help out their friends on the site. We saw Neo inside of Attic, knowing that Attic was going to be a mission-critical part of that retake as well. So he took the fight onto Onigiri, he won out that gunfight, and it was just so well played from MNM.
This is a really good start for the mostly UK roster. They need every bit of confidence that they can get, and they're starting to build that. If anything, though, you have to keep in mind that Elevate are a very defender-sided team on this map. They actually only win 52% of their attacks here on Oregon, but for defense, it goes up to 65%. In fact, when Elevate played Astralis, they went 5-1 on their defense half. You can very much see why MNM, given the choice, chose to start on defense. This is where they can build up a little bit of confidence, and they have done so already. My question is, are they going to be able to actually outright win this half? Are they going to be able to keep that momentum when we do the switch?
Ooh, what a cheeky Twitch drone there. That's just cleared out 3 pieces of utility, an ADS, a Goyo canister, as well as a mute jammer. That was some big value out of DCH. Now, Elevate, they need to give some more respect to this roam. That's what we've been saying over and over and over again. MNM, they really took them out in the late game. This time, they're looking for a much more cautious roam clear. We see Oni starting to make his way in from Big Tower, some of the Elevate players to follow up behind him. They're afraid they need to play these refrags and they need to commit to the roam clear, although there's actually not much of a roam presence from MNM so far.
A single player off-site for MNM. I believe that was Tyrant playing near the white stairs. Neo, though, here at Pillar, he's been droned out. He's got an ADS to protect him. He's on a gear, he throws down a first nade. The second nade to come through, well cooked. Does take down the ADS, so should another player rotate over to use their util. At least that ADS won't be in the way, but pretty easy for Neo to dodge that.
Elevate, though, they've been given a lot of space from MNM. The roam game was not nearly as present in this round as it has been in some of the previous defenses that MNM have run. Although one still holding onto Freezer says has just been droned out, zapped out even by a little Twitch drone, a little shock drone to tase him out. But Elevate, what can they make of this space that they've been given? They've got 2 hard breach charges on mark, so they can get open 2 hatches that will aid them in their execute.
Yeah, and there you go. You said it, and he does it straight away. Electrical hatch from meeting is open. Now, we did see on screen earlier, DCH has actually lost both of his Twitch drones, so while he did get some good early value on blue, clearing the Vulcan canister and the mute jammer and the ADS, he has now lost that utility. He's essentially just a glorified gun and his 2 smokes. And this is really the phase of the round where Elevate have to get to work. Nice job from Sapper to clear that Vulcan canister inside of Freezer. But still, it's a 5-on-5, and all of Elevate are poised to push the 5 players on the MNM side.
Well, it's a 5-on-5, but a lot of this utility has been choked out already for MNM. There are not that many Goyo canisters left, only their guns.
Oh, but Neo, he's immediately traded back after he does a little bit of shenanigans from the pillar position. A C4 goes out too early. The smoke covers for Elevate. And what's Mr. Punch going to be able to do? A retake position, but Tyrant, he's been shut down. There's only 3 now left for MNM. As Elevate march towards this bomb site, Nello's done some good work. Clearing Freezer. It opens up the round, but uses too over-aggressive. A foolish decision, and it may cost him the round. But Solotov brings it back. Elevate now in a 2 versus 2, and it is going to be a none versus none. Surely not. Solotov! He clutches the 1-on-1. MNM, 4 rounds straight.
Goodness gracious, that was looking a little bit dangerous for MNM. They were really being choked out of that utility. Elevate, they did such a great job through the early round, mid round, and late round to bait out all that utility. All those Go canisters went off so early. It left Elevate plenty of room to make the entry. A lot of the mute jammers went out, that C4 that went out early in the execute didn't connect. It felt like MNM didn't have anything left in their arsenal, but what they did have was their guns. And they absolutely took it to Elevate, pushing down, not getting those refrags, and eventually went out the round.
The refrag game was really strong from, well, both teams. That's why we ended up in that 1v1, right? Like, MNM in particular, like, every time Elevate found an opening, MNM composed. Nello holding in laundry. That pick onto the Freezer player, Sapper. To me, that was the pivotal moment in that round.
Yeah. For sure. Every way possible, MNM were willing to retake the space. They knew that the onslaught was on the way, and they weren't going to succumb to the crossfires and the refrags that Elevate are capable of, and they were very composed in their execute. Now they're going to take us down to yet going back to kids and dorms once again. And they won this one quite successfully. Last time we saw Elevate do a bit of a silly little push going through Trophy. This time Trophy is fully reinforced off from Small Tower, from Attic, anticipating that they're going to go for the same thing again. And it feels like MNM are starting to adapt to the patterns that Elevate are bringing along.
Yeah, well, Elevate have changed a little bit of their strategy, no longer bringing the Montaigne. Zappa's now on the Nomad. Big thing for me here, MNM have already reached par for the course. MNM's actually a team that has struggled historically on Oregon. They only have a 40% attacker and defensive win rate. And when they played Astralis on this map, they only went 3-3 on their defense, which compared to what Elevate achieved, 5-1, just doesn't quite hack it. Here, though, the story is very different. MNM already in an advantage. They've already won this half. It's about how much more damage they can do. Elevate, if they go down 5-1, this is going to be nigh impossible to make a comeback on attack. They have to win the next 2 rounds, and Nello finds the opening pick onto Onigiri, who is yet to find a single kill this game.
And the MNM players are just oozing confidence. Look at them. They're holding a piece of entry all on their lonesome, all on their own. We saw one play. That was Nello. He was holding onto Big Tower. He took the one onto Onigiri. Easy as he does it, Onigiri goes down. We've got players inside of Trophy getting ready for this master push just as they've anticipated. They're going to hold onto that Trophy position for as long as they possibly can. The aid of an ADS as well. Peeking onto this doorway, waiting for Elevate to make their move.
The setups from MNM. So stalwart, so hard to break into. Mr. Punch, though, gets his way inside. Finally takes down the proximity alarm and the camera, but feeling a bit of pressure. You can see a bit flicky there. Solotov through the rotation in closet, takes down the Vulcan canister. This Goyo has been so impactful for MNM.
And I'm a big fan of playing that rotation hole inside of Master. It forces Elevate to have to watch one more possible flank. Not only do they have to watch onto the 2 stairwells, hang on a moment, DCH, so he's just taken down Nello coming down up from the basement. And Elevate, this may be their chance to get into the site. Assaultov as well, getting over-aggressive and losing the fight to Mr. Punch.
Users, though, could reply with a big C4, throws it over the top, goes into Trophy, but it doesn't find anything. Elevate have the numbers advantage, and realistically, they need to win it from here, Mandy. They need to get the next 2 rounds of attack to be poised to take the full 3 points when they switch to defense.
This is their chance for Elevate to make the execute full white on the player in Attic, and the bomb is going down.
Neo, he's got his crosshair in just the right place. He does enough damage to take down Mr. Punch. The plan is down, but it's all up to Mark, the planter. He makes it a 1v1. Is this man gonna do it all by himself? Mark, with a clutch, can Elevate their first round.
Mark and Mr. Punch. That is the name of this entire major, don't you think so? Elevate, we thought it was going to be Sapper. We thought it was going to be Onigiri, the kill record leader. But no, it's the new guys, the rookies here at the international stage that have shown up time and time again. What an excellent entry from Mr. Punch. He was the first point of contest inside of Trophy. He took the fight onto Solotov. After that, Mark, not only did he get the bomb down, but he wins out the clutch for his team as well. MNM, overconfidence, comes to bite him back.
A lot of people watching Elevate on the international stage would only be familiar with them from Six Invitational. And that was a 2 out of 5 different roster, right? You had Mr. Punch and Mark back, not even part of this team at that point. Now, we have Mark, a support player who can top frag on his team and clutch up like that, which now affords Sapper also the opportunity to get off the support, go entry frag, which historically has been a much better role for him. This new revived Elevate that we have seen develop over the last 6 months, evolve into the best team that APAC has to offer right now. It's exactly what they needed. Now they are trailing behind here. This is not to their standard. They should be beating MNM. And if they let themselves get complacent, they could drop their first game here.
That being said though, I like this approach from MNM. They're saying, all right, this is our chance to deal real damage. A 5-1 half, let's open up the strat book. Something brand new. Now they're holding onto Big Tower with a shield. They're making it a power position, anticipating that Elevate are going to go for that Big Tower push once again. I think this is beautifully read from them.
Yeah, it's such a difficult Hell in a Cell position to clear. Nello's going to play his life as much as possible. Such an experienced player. You want to talk about clutches? Everyone remembers Nello's 1v4 from Tokoname. But can he hold it against this new rising star roster of Elevate in this tough position? 2-4 half for Elevate would be so winnable in regulation.
And Elevate are really playing into this hold at the moment. Onigiri, he's made his way into T3, but for what? There are no plays inside of Attic, and they're holding footsie holes for the entry to Nello to take down Mr. Punch. This big tower hold is really doing wonders for them.
So well played. Tyrant's got a crossfire as well to support. Elevator stalled out. They don't know what to do. Zappa goes for an entry. He gets knocked back by his own air jab, as the timing was just not it for him. Nello still holding on to this position. There needs to be some utility to clear him. Mark has one flash. He's got to use it, but Mark is dead. Nello has taken him down. Nello! The triple kill. He is immovable.
And apparently so is Tyrant. He's been on fire this game as well, supporting Nello in that backup crossfire, leaving Sapper in the 1-on-5 situation.
You said that MNM are going deep into the strat book to deal some damage. That is exactly what they have done here. They saw their opportunity. They grabbed the bull by the horns, and they have wrestled it into submission. Elevate now. The Beasts of APAC. 1v5 for Sapper. Impossible, surely. And that is going to mean MNM will go up 1 round to 5.
What a gorgeous read from MNM, though. Elevate, they did this last time. They didn't do it successfully. MNM, they had to fight back for it. They had to fight through the retake. This time, they made it even easier for themselves. They made Big Tower their stronghold, their fortress instead. Use this, he can take down Sapper. That's a done deal. Even intel going on outside the building.
God.
My goodness, MNM, what a strat from them.
Yeah, Elevate guys not looking quite as happy as they usually are. This is the worst we've seen from them so far. One more round for MNM, and it's match point. One more round for MNM, and Elevate drop yet another point.
Laundry Supply Room will be the first point of defense for Elevate. Now, historically, this one has been quite a difficult bomb site to attack. Pretty much defender-sided almost all the way throughout this major. I could be wrong in statistics, but from what Oregon games that we've watched, it has been very, very hard to make any kind of push, whether it's a front take, whether it's a flood through the back, it's been very tough. Now for Elevate, they look like they're going to be holding onto the site as much as possible. They're holding onto an elbow shield with a combination of the Wamai discs and the Jaeger ADSs as well. And Mark with those mute jammers to assist with a light roam going upstairs. So nothing too special coming out from Elevate. Nothing fancy like what MNM were able to bring out, but maybe simple is the way to go.
Sometimes it's better to keep it simple. You've got that momentum on your side. MNM have quite a significant lead here. They are laps ahead. But Elevate are so good on their defense. Against Astralis, they went 5-1 themselves. So they could bring it back here into overtime or potentially even a regulation win. MNM can afford to let it go to overtime, but it certainly is better for them if they can just lock out every possible point, which is looking very possible. If you told me that at the start of the day, I wouldn't have thought so. But MNM are looking in top form here against Elevate.
And it's actually exactly the same thing as when MNM and Elevate played last time on the theme park. It was very back and forth on the side of the attack, but as soon as Elevate moved into that defending position, they really took away the game after that. And so it's really on the onus of MNM to improve this attack if they want to close out the game.
Well, fortunately for MNM, they had such a lead on their defense that they only need to win 2 attacks now. I mean, they could essentially throw away 2 Laundry attacks and 2 Dorms attacks and just focus on winning the tertiary side. That's the real pressure here for Elevate. But the thing is that MNM have made good progress in this round. Look at all the hatches being opened.
Elevate, they will crawl back into their shells, bar Sapper on the freezer stairs.
In Sapper spot.
In Sapper spot. This is very dangerous for MNM. If they decide to push into freezer, they're going to be met by quite heavy resistance. You've got the shotgun.
Oh.
Tyrant, though, Mr. Punch getting very over-aggressive on the hatch and is taken down now, leaving Sapper all on his lonesome inside a freezer. Nobody to help him get out.
We've seen Sapper do amazing things from this position, but today is not his day. How uncharacteristic to see Sapper die with no impact in that position. What is going on for Elevate? MNM making them look silly.
What is going on for Elevate? I'm telling you, MNM, they're keeping the dream alive. This is their way back into the playoffs if they are able to close up this match, and they are playing exactly like that as well. They are not giving any chance, anything away. Now it looks like MNM's starting to shape up for this front. Take the diffuser, going down the laundry stairs, looking for the execute, peeking his way into the hallway. Is there any crossfires established? Yes, there is. There's a player inside of laundry that Nello has to clear.
I don't know about you, Manny, but I am starting to believe. Nello, bottom laundry stairs. In the 5v3, MNM have everything that they need to get match point. And Nello goes for the entry, walks through the goo mines. Onigiri takes him down. DCH and Mark also try their best, but Tyrant, he's found a quad. One more kill left. Standing between MNM and match point, it is Mark. We've seen him clutch up in the 1v2 before, but this is such a tall order. No ace for Tyrant. It's a 1v1. Mark might not know it, but Neo's going to get this diffuser down. Solotov cold on the ground, but Neo, he puts MNM on match point.
And what a beautiful execute as well from MNM. I was a bit nervous at Nello going on his lonesome down the laundry, but the refrags were aplenty. That freezer control that Tyrant got from early in the mid-rounds, that was fantastic. He made full use coming down those stairs. He used the angles that Elevate made in the hallway against them and were able to take down the rest of the anchors. And that was so beautifully played from Neo to stick that diffuser. He knew that was the one that he had to do. The time was so low, he couldn't fake it by then, and wow. Beautifully played in the post plan.
MNM, come to play today. I don't know what they had for breakfast, Mandy. And I tell you what, those 8 a.m. boot camp starts have been paying off.
That's exactly it. These guys look fired up. They look ready. This is not the MNM of old. This is not the MNM of the 10 a.m. curse anymore.
I wonder if maybe Elevate partied a little bit too hard last night after qualifying for playoffs, and they're the ones still waking up.
Yeah.
Because this has been amazing from MNM, but you also can't look past the fact that this is not the Elevate that we have seen throughout the rest of the tournament.
Absolutely. Elevate. Maybe you're right. Maybe they did party too hard. We'll go chat to them afterwards and see what they think about themselves, because I think they're going to be feeling a little bit disappointed after this one, a little bit shaken up. But oh well, they've qualified, right?
They have qualified, but that doesn't mean the stakes are over for Elevate, right?
Exactly.
Like if they really struggle here in their final 2 games, that starts to rock the confidence. You get a bit of imposter syndrome. You're like, look, are we really here playing against teams like FaZe, W7M? Not to mention, if Elevate drop points, there's a world where some of these other teams in their group could actually take the first seed. And that would mean Elevate may well be playing against a team as strong as FaZe or W7M. And when you're playing single elimination playoffs, you don't want to be facing a top seed team.
You absolutely do not. FaZe and W7M, who are going to make it through the playoffs for sure. Those guys, wow, they look really great. They look in hot form right now, and Elevate need to match that. That's important for them in this match. But for MNM, they're just taking it to them now, making a pretty early clear through this small tower. The site is kids and dorms, but first they're going to get control of the ground floor. Solotov, he might be met by a little bit of resistance. Mr. Punch just holding onto Big Tower for now, but not taking it down.
There's good info here for MNM. They've spotted the position of Mr. Punch. Mr. Punch has got no clue about it. Wants to rotate in back to site. I don't think Solotov realizes, but the reinforcement attic's actually been open. Solotov's going to drop below, and that would have been heard out. Is Mr. Punch going to be able to land this shot? The flash, Solotov sees it himself. And Mr. Punch is now in a good position to win this. Then the other flash goes out, and once again, the Finker may have saved him. Just on a sliver of health, Mr. Punch with the pistol, desperately looking, and he gets him by the end of it, a knife to add insult to injury. But MNM don't want to let him get away with his life. Tyrant is pushing for the trade, but he doesn't make it work. It's desperation now for MNM. Mr. Punch has gone left and right hook, and once again, the headbutt to knock it off. Users goes down. What has gone on here for MNM?
Big disconnect on the roam clear there for MNM. Oh, poor Nello. He just sent in so many Solotov, sorry. He sent in so many flashes, hoping that they would get him. He flashed himself. He ended up flashing Mr. Punch anyway, but he ran away for his life. Oh, it was so dicey there in the roam clear, and eventually giving Mr. Punch those 1 versus 1s. That is not the player that you want to be giving 1 versus 1s on the roam clear. You need to pinch him out because he's so sharp on that Malusi.
Nia's surely a dead man here. There's a player in... Well, there's a player coming up from behind him, Mr. Punch, flanking up the stairs. He's watching for it. There's also a player in Armory that could well swing. Neo seems to have info. You can see the yellow ping. MNM have so much information. This is why it's so disappointing they were unable to punish Mr. Punch earlier. Finally gets the job done, but I think that's DCH. Yeah, he's actually going to exercise a little bit of trigger discipline to make sure he confirms that kill. All on Nello jumping on through, but that's not going to work out. Elevate finally stemmed the bleeding. Took them long enough, but they get another round.
Oh dear, Elevate off the back of Mr. Punch holding onto that basement all on his lonesome. There was no refrag there potential. He was just there holding it all on his own, and it was just down to MNM pretty much playing themselves. They didn't have any refrags going through. They committed to the roam clear, but in the worst way possible.
True, we start to see some cracks in the brickwork for MNM. You can see with such intensity every time we go to their player cams. They might be up 6-2, but you wouldn't necessarily think it looking at their cameras. It's not smiles and laughter. This is serious business. They know what's at stake. They know that they've been to these events before and bailed out a bit earlier than they would have liked. They've been making changes. Their support staff, they've been trying to find what is the perfect chemical composition for this team to try and finally unlock making it to that next step, no longer being viewed as that CL team that promoted into EUL, but as an actual global contender, as a playoffs.
For Elevate, this is their defense in full form. We said before that Elevate are a defense team. They've won very well and truly on this side, and for MNM, this is the part where they're really going to be tested. It's the exact same story when these two played up against Theme Park. Elevate really ran away with it as soon as they got onto the defense. Now they're going to take us to their tertiary site. This is MNM's best chance at winning a bomb site because it's something different. It's something off that Elevate have got to go for.
Still match point. Is that pressure mounting now for MNM? Knowing that they kind of kicked the bucket last round. Going through a much more steady attack together. Not sending anyone in solo. Potentially fall victim to these roamers from Elevate. Solotov though, oh, he takes a bit of damage. The player in split sees him. It's Onigiri. The Org actually. Not something you see every day on the Wamai. DCH has actually been droned down. He's going to be cut off here from the lobby. Double door. It's Solotov on the other side. And, oh no, DCH looks away at the wrong moment. Solotov punishes him, goes for a second kill. Lights up Onigiri, but it's not enough to confirm.
Meanwhile, though, MNM have made pretty good progress throughout the entire map. We've seen some players go through the master side, working that top floor control. Meanwhile, other players going through big tower side as well. We can see Nello. He's the one holding the diffuser at the moment, working his way slowly through dining, seeing if he can slip a plant down, try and flush out any of these anchors while the roam clear is happening in tandem.
Elevate are really good at meeting Kitchen, this bomb site. Even though it's regarded as a tertiary site, they won it twice against Astralis. And now they will wait. The C4 there from Sapper to support. It's a lot of hard breach gone. Still Nello available. But Mark holding onto this top floor control is the biggest thorn in MNM's side. They need to start raking in some more map control. And Tyrant may indeed be looking for a play here. He finds a face full of buckshot. Mr. Punch takes him down.
MNM now left to pick up the pieces. Top floor control is still not in their favor. A player still inside of Kids. That's Mark. Oh no, it's Mark. This could be really terrifying for MNM as they try and clear this. Oh no!
He doesn't manage to land enough shots to take down Nello, and now he's caught out. Does he drop the hash? Does he commit? Solotov with a wall bang. Perfect from MNM. They've got the numbers back on their side. Could this be where they close it out?
And this is a possible way to convert with this sledgehammer as well. Sapper could be in a little bit of danger. Bad times are headed his way. A sledgehammer to the hand, and Nello to cut him off as well if he tries to fall off, if he tries to contest the breach. But he's actually going to contest the vertical. He's not giving this up.
Sapper with the shotty, but Nello moves in for the plant after confirming that kill. It's all on Onigiri. He's had a rough game so far, reveals his position. He's worried about the vertical angles. He needs to deny the plant, and rounding off, it is Nello. A dominant performance from MNM, a 7-2, and Elevate are no longer undefeated.
That was another beautifully played round from MNM as well. They are so in sync right now. Their scrapbook is well and truly out there from this particular matchup. I love their defense. Their attack was well thought out. It was careful and it was cautious, and that's exactly what they needed against Elevate.
No premature celebrations for this team. They know that the job is not done yet. This is a huge dub. but it's only going to get more difficult for MNM. If they are to make it playoffs, they can't afford to lose a single game. We're going to a quick break. Afterwards, we'll break that game down. To us. Well, I don't think anybody expected Elevate to do so well this tournament, and I think even less people expected MNM to come out and 7-2 them after they've already qualified for playoffs. MNM, though, for them, this was an important game. They didn't crumble under the pressure. They delivered, but you can see from the expressions on their faces after that game, MNM are still feeling anxious. They know that the job is not done yet.
Well, the thing is, they're anxious because right now, fate is actually out of their hands. If Furia take any regulation win, it's over for their run anyway. Right now, they just beat Elevate, but now they have to be Elevate's biggest fans to try and keep the rest of the teams low in the points.
Isn't that ironic? They want Elevate to be out of form for that game, but not for any more. We have the group standings, though, and we can talk about how this is... No, we don't have the group standings yet, but to put this into context, right, Elevate have already confirmed their spot. MNM, up until this point, we're in last place. We have 4 teams which are all fighting for spots in this group. Furia, like you said, looking like the strongest team in the group, but now that we have a little bit more info about MNM, now that we've seen that they can take it to even the Titans within their group, are we thinking that maybe there is a possibility?
Of course there is a possibility.
I love this, your enthusiasm.
I am enthusiastic because now that they've won that game, it makes things really interesting. Because if things start to go their way, if the stars start to align, we could be in for a long day in this group. We really could be. It could be over in the next match.
Yeah.
It really could be. But we could be in for a long one.
I have a sinking feeling that we are going to be here into the wee hours of the morning to confirm this, to confirm every team for playoffs. MNM have finally found their footing. They've rejuvenated. They've dispelled the curse that they had at SI, where they were seemingly unable to win any games that happened in the morning. And I got to say, like, just they looked really well as a team. They were in sync, and there were some big plays as well, big moments from different players.
I think the big thing from them taking away this experience in Berlin is to show that they can be disciplined as a team and they can put in the hours and the effort to work. This is a 10 a.m. game. They were cursed on it for who knows how long at SA. They lost just about every game that they played in the morning. But this last 2 weeks have been a period of really hard work for them. They've woken up every day on time. They've been really they have had healthy meals. They've done really great to build that team synergy and to build the culture where they're keeping each other accountable no matter what. And it's really showed up in the lobby today as well. And even though they're not at the top of their group, I think they're going to walk away from this tournament and say, we've just furthered ourselves way, way more than we have before.
Yeah, you got to respect the grind from MNM. They have been working so hard. Let's look at the match summary because it was actually quite a dominant game. You'll see from the round count, it was MNM all over at the start. They had a 5-1 defensive half. And for Elevate, I mean, we've seen them have 5-1 defensive halves before against Astralis, but it just didn't seem to match pace. They got off on the wrong foot. Like, what was going on today?
It just felt like MNM were there in the server being very confident, but it was simple. I think that was the main thing that MNM had over the top of Elevate. Elevate, they tried to overcomplicate things and do some silly things. They made some entries they made some roam clears that were very half done. They made some entries that were not properly droned out, that type of thing. For MNM, they were just very careful. They were more cautious about it, and although their strat book wasn't so far and wide, bar that beautiful hold inside of Big Tower that we saw on their tertiary site, it was simple and it worked out really well. They just played some seriously good Siege.
Now, we asked the question, for Elevate, did they party a little bit too hard yesterday after qualifying for playoffs? If MNM are now used to getting up nice and bright and early in the morning, are Elevate perhaps not feeling so great?
Maybe. It's possible.
Not going to speculate. We'll have to ask them. But, hey, there's no rest for the wicked. Elevate have another game. And for them, the stakes are locking in first seed, right? You don't want to be playing W7M. You don't want to be playing FaZe. And you want to take some confidence into the playoffs. You go 4 games straight and then lose your last 2, feeling a bit rocky into playoffs. So Elevate will try and fight for redemption in just a minute. So stick around for that game.